Recent proof of coverage updates have been implemented on the Helium network in an effort to fight individuals gaming the system and the network. This is a very important issue and must be addressed in order for the network to work properly. But the reality is that even with these updates and the call to action to all hotspot owners around the world, the scammers out there that are intentionally gaming the network are not going to listen. They are simply not going to stop because Helium and the community are asking them to. The recent proof of coverage update was a step in the right direction, but it's clear that further action must be taken by Helium and the community to end the gaming of the network. Recently, in a Discord post, a member of the community created a HIP to try and start a discussion regarding how we, as a community, can address the issue. Let's take a look at some of the details and share our thoughts in today's video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay up to date in the latest Helium news, analysis, tips, and tricks. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a very large update that was recently implemented that the core development team had been working on for many months. It is something that is a huge positive step in the right direction, but unfortunately, it is not going to solve the overwhelming problem of gaming or network spoofing on the Helium network and in the Helium community. This gaming problem is being conducted by people that are doing it intentionally to game the system, to earn HNT when they should not be, and to earn more HNT than they should be. So it has come to my attention. I've seen this here as a pinned comment in the Helium Improvement Protocol Discord channel. And this user here, looks like Hakeem, has made a very good point, and he has also created a HIP in the GitHub that we will get to in a minute. We will go through all of the details of this Denny list proposal. As you can see, there's commenting going on, which is very good, people talking about it, because it is a very complicated, very difficult thing to understand and to fix. Ultimately, it's the network, the way it's built, the decentralized nature of it, it becomes very hard to try and sort of police the network for the reasons that it's created, to be decentralized, for these hotspots to be owned by different people, to be a sort of an open network that people with any hotspot can connect into. So for those reasons, it makes it very difficult to try and police and monitor and gauge what's going on and make sure that people are all playing by the rules and playing correctly, because that is how the network was built. That's the intentions of the network. And if these people aren't operating their hotspots the way they should be, the way they were designed to work, the network will not work efficiently. It will penalize people that are doing it correctly, and it will compensate some of these people that are gaming the system. As you can see here, Hakeem has posted a comment. And he says he's seen a lot of comments about why isn't this hotspot banned, which is a very good question to ask. It is a question that I asked myself, because when you look at the network and you hear about this gaming problem, you just have to think like, oh, well, if you see that that hotspot is gaming the network, just ban it or kick it offline. The problem is that's very difficult to do because of the nature of the network, how it is built, how it is supposed to be built. These are features that enhance the network, but they also can be used sort of to game the system this way. And as you can see here, he says there is currently no mechanism to ban hotspots from the network, nor has any serious discussion ever taken place about how such a system would work. I wanted to drop this template of a proposal around how a Denny list could be implemented by validators that will effectively turn suspected hotspots into data-only hotspots. And he says here, please note that neither myself nor Helium Inc. are actually proposing this, but I did want to get some more discussion out there on the subject, which is awesome. He provided a HIP that explains how to make a HIP, which is kind of funny. And he also, of course, linked the GitHub that he created, which is right here. So validator Denny list. A Denny list is basically like a blacklist, sort of like these people are banned from the community. So as you can see here, he started it. There's a summary and motivations. And you can see he mentions, while the situation with regards to proof of coverage gaming has improved and additional enhancements are intended, we need a backstop prevention mechanism that allows us to quickly allow the network to grow and deal with obvious gaming and spoofing situations as they materialize. So he's basically saying the proof of coverage that was recently done is a step in the right direction, but there needs to be there needs to be further discussion here to figure out how to really attack this problem, how to stop it. Because as I mentioned in the intro, these people that are doing this are not just going to stop because the community asked them to. They're not going to stop for any reason. If there are no consequences, they are not going to stop doing what they are doing. So there really needs to be a discussion in the community, with the community members, with hotspot owners, with Helium, about how this can be stopped, the correct way to go about it. There's a proposal here that sort of mentions the Denny listed hotspot file here that suspected hotspots can be put into and how they'll be addressed. As you can see, there's 2 consensus mechanisms that he mentions: how hotspots are added or removed from the Denny list, and whether validators choose to adopt the community blacklist. So it is very important that this is resolved. This is a huge issue. It's going to affect everybody's earnings on the network. It is going to affect all hotspots on the network. And it's very complicated because these miners don't actually have they don't have location services on them. Now, I don't know, I'm not very technical, but I don't know what the reasoning for there not being a more simple solution, because if these miners are able to communicate with each other, there should be a way to cross-reference the asserted location of the Helium hotspot with the pings that it's sending to the hotspots near it that are connecting with the signal of said hotspot. So if the community or the network, or there's a mechanism that cross-references those two things, it should be pretty apparent which hotspots are not actually in the asserted location that they say they are in. I do not know the details on if that's... I don't know the reason why that isn't the plan, but I'm sure there's good reason. I'm sure the people who have more technical background and are able to understand the network more in a more detailed way would be able to let me know why that's not the case. If you do know, please let me know in the comments below. But I'm sure that we will have to get to some sort of consensus that does something like that, where these hotspots are identified and they're either kicked off or they're added to this Denny list, or they're turned off maybe by the manufacturer or something. But of course, that does get very tricky, because what if that mechanism is not working correctly and people who are actually not gaming or spoofing the system are then getting kicked off? That creates another huge problem. So this is a very complicated, very multi-layered problem that we're going to have to try and find a solution. Of course, he has some open questions here. Who decides which Denny lists PRs to accept or reject? Should a majority of validators be required to Denny list a witness receipt, or should it be unanimous? There's discussions here. This is very important. I'm sure there'll be more discussions on this. I'll put a link below to it. I'm sure that there'll be more conversations inside of this GitHub as well. Bottom line is, this is a huge problem. The recent proof of coverage update that was just implemented is not going to fix it. There needs to be more work done here. Of course, I don't have the answers. I have some opinions. I try and share them in the Discord and on this channel, of course. So guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have a way of doing this that might be different from what's proposed here, sort of using a Denny list and identifying these gaming hotspots. This is a very important issue that has to be addressed in order for the network to scale properly and effectively and work efficiently. But guys, that's all I have for today. Big news coming tomorrow, so stay tuned. Turn on that notification bell. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Very, very exciting news for the Helium community, so stay tuned for that. But that's all I have for today. Just like that, this video is over, and I will see you tomorrow.